So Out of Me started as a conversation.
You can have Jesus and you can have a therapist too.
Kind of have a responsibility to just reach out to say, hey, you know, is there anything I can do to help?
Unconscious bias. When people have their own bias, and I can speak because I was one of those, people have their own unconscious bias toward what they believe mental health illness is.
I think when you begin to talk about stigmas and you begin to talk about barriers to mental health, in particular within the Black community, I think to some extent those stigmas and barriers are justified in how we as Black persons feel about the field of mental health. Let me be clear. We live in a society that has not always adequately supported the Black community and Black persons. And so when we when we think about the field of mental health, we begin to think that we don't do that because we're not crazy. I'm not crazy, and I don't need some shrink to tell me or to medicate me so that I can feel better. Typically, what we have done as a community is we have looked to faith institutions, religious institutions that have ultimately guided us through those difficult moments in our lives. And so the stigmas of I don't need mental health in my life, ultimately I think are justified because of the system, honestly, in which we live in.
I was there when it popped off. I watched the news, yes, y'all. I watched the news. I saw when they loaded the clip, yes, y'all. And I would do it again. I promise you I would do it again. I swear to God, I would do it again because I miss my brother so much. But that doesn't mean I agree with what they did. It just means I learned not to judge the people by how they breathe. It means that I've learned not to judge the hood for how it loves you back. Thank you.
My perspective is pretty unique in that than maybe some other therapists from other cultures, in that our history really is riddled with lots of trauma and traumatic events in the African American experience. And so I think in our communities, we have a history of survival, and we come together and support each other as a community. And so in that process, we've really gained a sense of strength as a community. And that has passed on for families as well as individuals. And so with that strength, I think we become very reluctant to reach out for help when we have emotional issues or mental health issues, because I think there's a stigma of we're stronger than that, a stigma that it means that you're weak or that you're not good enough, there's something wrong with me, and we all want to be accepted within the realm of our community.
At some point in everybody's life, you feel like this. Lord, I'm split in two. Part of me loves the world and the other loves you. So what do? I wanna be saved, but I gotta stay cool too. And no, I'm not a fool. I know eventually I'm gonna have to choose. And really, I don't wanna lose my ticket into heaven and a chance to be used by you. And if it's God that I'm after, I just can't serve two masters. And before something happens, I gotta turn it all around, because I know I can't just have my cake and eat it too. Cause it's real easy to stay on the fence and still do you. And it'd be cool if we could love the Lord and still go do our thing. But see, it doesn't work like that. You gotta be white or black. See, I've realized when it comes to sin, you just don't compromise. See, it's a matter of death and life. Be weak and do wrong, or be strong and do right. And I don't want to keep going to church.
Yeah, in my opinion, I feel that artistic therapy is a way that I can cope with my mental, I wouldn't say illness, but my mental issues. I kind of feel that it's a way that I can express what it is that I go through. It's a way that I can get rid of those emotions that I have, that I go through. It's almost like I don't feel them when I dance. Everything goes away, and I'm whole. I feel like mentally I'm just complete.
Within the realm of the work that we do as helpers and outpatient therapists, over time, therapy has really evolved into using whatever tools that we can that makes an impact on the lives of others, and that's a positive impact. And so I think the art aspect, there are therapists that really focus in on doing art therapy, in which case they use whether it's painting, music, all kinds of creativity in order to reach children and sometimes adults, and all of it has been found to be therapeutic, and they're all just aids in the process of assisting them in the healing process, the emotional healing.
And it's a tribute to Black women. I see you standing proud with the weight of the world on your shoulders, chin up, hair laid, walking to the rhythm of the sound. Ain't no stopping you now. You are magic. Black girl, Black woman, Black queen, sweet caramel, mint chocolate, honey tone. Resilience is in your genes.
If there's the disparity of within our healthcare systems, then there's going to be a disparity within our mental health systems as well. And if when it comes to African Americans having not having the proper health care, there's not going to be adequate referrals and diagnoses that would say, not only do you need to maybe take this pill or take this medicine to help your physical ailment, you also need to see somebody that might, be able to sit down with or talk to or help you with being well mentally, from a mental health perspective.
Yeah, I think that education is still the key, but I think the issue might be, in education, of course, we've been doing that for a long time now, but I think it may be more about how we educate, how we go about the process of educating. And part of that, I think, is actually going into our communities and churches, and any opportunity to speak and demonstrate what it is that we do. And I also think expanding what we do to some of the self-help things that are a great add-on and support to the outpatient therapy services that we as outpatient therapists provide.
I feel that in the Black community or the Black faith community that we don't speak about it at all. That's the biggest stigma. We don't talk about it. We kind of hush it or push it to the side, or we kind of make it as if, oh, it's nothing wrong, you're just being a little dramatic, or, if you're a guy, oh, you need to toughen up, you're gonna be fine. And that's not healthy. I feel that we need to start addressing these issues, especially in our children. And as a parent, I think that it's important that we do that we talk to our children about what mental health is, that we educate them on how they can get through the issues that they may face, or if they're around people that are dealing with these issues, how they can help other people kind of get through how you doing goes a long way. You know, the bullying is in the schools now are through the roof. You know, I have friends that speak, they're teachers in the high schools and the middle schools, and they talk about how much of the depression and the anxiety, even eating disorders, they deal with these things on a daily basis. But how are we helping these students? I was one of them. How are we getting these students educated on what it is that they're actually going through without making them feel like there's something wrong with them?
They say one's reflection in the mirror is simply light rays bouncing off a piece of glass that, depending on the angle, reflects the same image those light rays are bouncing to and from. No room for error, they told me. A mirror shows you the truth. But as I stare into this mirror, tears in my eyes, I question if what they told me is only valid. Or maybe partially valid. See, physically, I see the same thing. I raise my hand, so does my reflection. I nod my head, flare my nose, same thing. But that's not why I'm looking in this mirror. I need to know if I am how God sees me.